Okay, this is part 2 of Black Tora, Never Enough, CVT lesson for Dominic. And at the end of part 1, we were just entering the rhythm for the guitar solo. You didn't want the lead, so here's what the rhythm does. 7A, 9D. Now I think it's simpler, but here's the thing. There's some down-up strumming, and that leaves room for error as far as hitting extra strings. You heard me talk about this in the first video, about taking the first finger and barely touching underneath the low E. Because we're doing these downs and ups, right? You're going to wind up hitting this. It's better to, you know, it's an aggressive song. It's driving. You don't want to have to go ahead and be able to hit that low E knowing you're muting it. Is what I'm getting at. If you don't have that technique right now, definitely work on it and apply it. Same thing goes for on the G string. I have this purposely angled. Actually, it's naturally touching the G. My first finger is actually handling the B and the high E. So I'm muting all around these two power chord notes. So here's the strum. There's one rest after you hit the A and D. Down, up, 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 down, up. That last up, you move this whole chord back to the 3rd and 5th fret, and it's almost as if you can kind of slide it. It looks like I'm sliding it, but you don't want to go. So you lift the pressure off, keep the power chord shape. Don't worry about that sound. You won't hear it when you're playing it up to tempo, and it's a natural thing that happens. Now when you go to this 3A, 5D, make sure you still got the muting, you know, around the power chord notes. But the strum is shorter here. It goes up, up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's... You'll end up going from 3-5, up, up, down, change as a up, which is 5A, 7D, up, up, down, up, down, up, down. The only part that I would say could be outside of the muting that could be tricky, outside of the muting, would be the rest doesn't come till after the change. Now when we have to move from one chord or note to another, we've all gone through this. We usually stop and we're thinking, okay, where is it at? We got to regroup by fingers, and we end up with a rest in there that doesn't need to be. So I want you to be mentally aware of that, Dominic, because I want you to be able to land that as quick as you can without losing the rhythm. As opposed to going, you know what I mean, and having that rest in there. That goes 4 times, 4th time no star. So let me show you what I mean. Again. Again. Fourth time. And we cut off the 3-5 and the 5-7. Another thing I notated in your tabs. First time through, we start with the down strum on that first chord. All the other times, you'll see on the tabs, upstroke in parentheses underneath the down. That means for all the other times. Because you're ending this with a down, and we just, boom, we'll start the chord with an up. It may feel a little awkward. I guarantee you'll get used to it, and it does create the right feel for it. If it's too crazy, like I said though, man, in the big picture, you did want this simplified. And if those downs ups are too crazy, just go down, as long as you got the beat right. Alright, so that's okay to do. The second half of the rhythm for the solo, where we eliminated the star section, we're going to continue it with 3E, 5A. Now this is a little easier because we don't have to worry about muting an above string because we're on the above string. And it's the same strum though. Up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Power chord fingerings can change from 1st and 3rd. If you like 1st and 4th, that's fine as well. But go up, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then move that a whole step sharp to 5E, 7A. Do the same strum. Up, down, up, down, up, down. So remember, try to land that next chord without pausing. Save the pause for after the change. It is harder, I know, but that's part of the beat and the rhythm of this song. Okay, so the next thing is this. Actually, a really cool part here. I wasn't going to show you because I almost thought it's kind of part of the solo, but it's really not. It goes. Try it again. Oops. And what that is 4-2-G, palm muted 4D, and then get right back and do that again. Kind of knuckle shift if you want, just kind of, rather than individually lift. If the palm mute's too tough, don't worry about it. And then go 4G, palm mute the 4D once. You can knuckle shift that back up. See how I'm flattening it and going right back up. And then this part's really cool. 2B, hammer to 3 and pull off back to 2. So we're picking the 2nd fret and hammering to the 3, pulling off back to the 2. Don't worry, a lot of times with pull-offs, you don't hear them that loud because they're worried about it striking the underneath string. Chances are you're muting that high E anyways, and if you're not, do that, and then you can pull off as hard as you want. In essence, the pull-off takes the place of the pick. You know, this pick's giving you a certain amount of volume. You want to keep that pull-off volume the same. So that's a subgroup in itself. Pick, hammer, pull. Palm mute 4-2 on the G. Palm mute 5-4-2 on the D. Palm mute 5A. So, and then 2G, pick, hammer to 4, pull to 2. So it's kind of emulating that other part, just different strings and different frets. Right, pick, hammer, pull. Palm mute the 5-4-2 on the D, and then palm mute 5-4-A. And you could subgroup that stuff. You could go. That's totally fine. And then we have, that's the end of the solo. Section 6, 228 to 238, it's a 10-second part, and you'll recognize this. Okay, it's something you've done earlier, but the ending is different. So we have. Cool part. Okay, then we have section 4, repeat 1 time. Section 4, 2 times, no star. You'll notice that in the tabs. And then section 7, we're right at the end here, dude. We have 2 sections left. Actually, yeah, there's 8 sections and 6 pages. This part, little leady, kind of riffish here. It goes, play it slow. Okay, that's about their tempo. Oops. Try it again. Alright, so let me run through that with you. 3A, rest, hit it again, and then the rest of this is palm muted, at least the next 2 notes. 6-5A, 4th and 3rd finger. 3D, no palm mute, which is going to throw it off probably a little bit. So if you want to keep it palm muted for simplicity, that's fine. 6A, palm mute. 5-3, 6-5-3, all palm muted on the D. That's a good subgroup. And then 6-5A, 3-2A, that could be a subgroup. And then 4E, 6A, 2 up strums, and then a rest. And here's what I mean. You go up, up, rest. It's karate chop it. Stick your hand over all these strings to silence it. And then move it to 6E, 8A, twice, up. 7-9, EA, up twice with a rest. So we have this. and then 3E, 5A, go up, up, down. And that would sound like this. Alright, that is done 2 times total. Section 8, here's the very end of the song. And it goes like this. You're going to recognize this too. It's just in a different spot. Play a little quicker. One last time for you. It might not even be that fast, but it is kind of quick. So do this. 5-3 G, 5D palm mute. Do that twice. 5G once, 5D palm mute once. Remember knuckle shift, just like we did when we were on 4-2. Rather than go and lifting it, you know what I mean? It'll save you time. 3-4-3 on the B, pick, hammer, pull. 5-3 G, palm mute. 6-5-3 D, palm mute. And 6A, palm mute. So 3G, pick, hammer 5, pull to 3. 6-5-3 D, palm mute. 6-5-6 A, palm mute. And then 3, well, before we hit this chord, let me just play that second half. This could be a subgroup. And then you can build off of it. And just build off of it. The last chord, really fat, full sounding chord. Bar the 3rd fret on the E and A. Just lay this first finger flat. And then we need the 5th fret on the D and G as well. Now you can use 2 fingers. You can bar that as well. Just experiment. But maybe play it as an arpeggio first. Make sure you hear all 4 strings. This is angled, but it's actually angled to where if you listen to the B and E, they're muted. So I can just go. If not, you got to be careful, you know, and just go, which is fine too, but I'd rather you get used to the muting. Here's section 8. And it just rings out. That's 3/16 till the very end. And you start to hear feedback. Now if you want to get feedback, you can turn your volume up more on your amp. But if you grab your guitar, and if this video camera was the amp, and you stick these pickups right up there in front of your amp speakers, you should get some feedback. I'm not sure what kind of amp you have, but if your distortion's up, you should be able to get it. Hopefully it's controlled. Has to do with your pickups, how good they are too. Alright, Dominic, so we have a 2-part video. If you have any questions, I'll take care of you, man. My CVT lessons, you guys are my students too, so you got my cell number. You know how to email me, and any questions, man. As a matter of fact, we were talking on Facebook, so you know how to reach me. But definitely ask questions if you have them. If you're not sure how to simplify a part, I'll help you how to do, figure out the best way to go about it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Cool tune. This is a band I hadn't heard of. They got that 80s vibe, but they're not from the 80s. They are more modern. If you one look at the video, you'll see what I mean. You can tell they're not from the 80s. They got the modern, they look like metalers mixed with punkers, like Rancid meets, I don't know. They kind of look like a Vince Sevenfold. I don't know. All right, dude. Thanks a lot, man. We'll talk to you later.